We are going to solve quadratic equation using the method of computing the squares. We are dealt with the factorization method, so we are computing the squares. Solve the quadratic equation, and this is our equation. So with computing of square, always we want the coefficient of s square to be 1. So our first step here is, let's move the constant term over to the other side of what? The equation. So this is the constant, so we move it here. Or it's -3, so we add 3 on both sides so that here we go to 0. So this is what we are saying if we move the constant term to the other side of the equation. Then we would divide through by the coefficient of s squared, that's the 2. So we divide through by the coefficient of s squared. If we divide through by 2, this is what we get. This one, the 2 will cancel. That's why we got s squared. So like I said, computing of square, we always want the coefficient of s squared to be 1. So we divide through by 2. This one. Now we are going to do something here. We will take half of the coefficient of s here. That's 5 out of 2. Then we will square it. Then we add it to both sides of the equation. So that's our next step. Take half of the coefficient of the s term, square it, and add it to both sides of the equation. So half of this. So let's multiply this. You see, I've multiplied this by half. That's why we got 5 out of 4. Multiply this by half, we got 5 out of 4. Then I will square this one. Then I'll add to both sides of the equation. So this is what we are saying. So we have our s squared here, 5 out of 2s here. Then we say we take half of it. That's why we got 5 out of 4. You remember? So we say we will square this one, then 5 out of 4. Then we add it to both sides of the equation. So we have added it here and we have added it here. That's the both sides of the equation. Now we are going to compute the square. And here we are going to do something here. You see that we have s squared here. And there's another square here. These two. We have square here, square here. So we take the s and the 5 out of 4. So if negative, we take the negative 5 out of 4. So we take the s here and the 5 out of 4. Then we add them. Then we square it, right? So this one 5 out of is positive, that's why we add. But if negative here, we will subtract. So s plus 5 out of 4, then we square it. That's why we are computing the square. So if you simplify this, you will get this back. So this is what we are saying. Compute the square on the left hand side and simplify the right hand side. Compute the square on the left hand side and simplify the right hand side. This is what I was saying. S plus 5 out of 4. I said you take the s, well there's a square here. You take the s, take 5 out of 4. Then you add it and square them. If here is negative, here what? Negative. If here the 5 out of is negative 5 out of 4, it will be negative here. But this one, there's no negative here, so it's addition. It's positive, right? That's why we add and square them. Then you will simplify this, right? So this square here is affecting both this. So here is 25 out of 16. Then you add it. So 3 out of 2 plus 25 out of 16. If you simplify this, you get 49 out of 16. You can use the calculator to punch it. Good. Then you will take the square root of both sides. What do you mean of square root? That's half. So it will cancel. Half of this will cancel, half of this will cancel. So we take the square root of both sides. So square root of this and square root of this. You will get this. So the square root will cancel the half. It will cancel because we said that the square root is half. So it will cancel. 2 times half is 1. So you take the square root of both sides. And the square root of any number is positive and negative, right? So this is the square root of both sides. Okay, so let's simplify and make s the subject, right? So if we make the s the subject, then our s will be this. So this one, the root of 49 is 7 and 16 is what? 4. So that's why we got plus or minus 7 out of 4. Then this one, I want to make s the subject, so we will subtract 5 out of 4 on both sides, or you move it across or the equal sign. That's why we get negative 5 out of 4. So this is our S. So this is how we use the combination of square to solve it. Okay, so let's solve another example. So let's solve an example under this. Solve the quadratic equation using the computing of square method, right? So what should we do here? What's our first step? We said that we move the constant term across the equal sign. So here is -2. So like I said, I'll add 2 to both sides so that this 2 goes, or you move to across the equal sign. That's how you want to say it. So that's why we got this, right? And what's our next step here? Yes, we said you will divide both sides by what? 5. True, by 5. That's our next step that we said. Why? Because we want the coefficient of x squared to be 1. That's why we are dividing both sides by what? 5. So this is what you will get here. Now we said that our next step also said that, yes, we said 6 out of 5, negative 6 out of 5. We take half of it. So you multiply this one by half, the coefficient of s by half. The answer that you get, you square it and then you add to both sides. So you add to both sides. So half of this, 6 out of 5, 36 out of 5 times half. So you get 3 out of 5. That's negative 3 out of 5. Then we square this one, then you add to both sides. So our s square is here, we have maintained it. Negative 6 out of 5s, we are still maintaining it. Then we say we will add it to both sides. So negative 3 out of 5. This are half of it, negative 3 out of 5. Then instead we square it, then add to both sides. So you see how we have added to both sides. Okay, so let's simplify this one. So I still maintain this one. So I've simplified this one. This one is 9 out of 25 because the square is affecting everything here. It's negative. So 9 out of 25. Now what should we do here? What's our next step? There's s square here. There's another square here. Square here, square here. I said that we take the s, then we take the 1 in the bracket here. Negative 3 out of 5. This one there's negative here. It's not positive. You remember? So negative. So it will be s minus negative 3 out of 5. Then we square all of them. So if you simplify that one, you get this expression back. Then we simplify this one too. So this is what we are saying, right? So s minus 3 out of 5. Then we square it. Then we will simplify this one. You can take the LCM and simplify. You can use the calculator to punch it anywhere you go. Then we take the square root of both sides. So I said the square root half, so it will cancel. 2 times half of this, so it will be 1. Then the square root of this is any square root is positive and not negative. So plus or minus 19 out of 25, right? Then let's make s the subject. So which if I want to make the s the subject, I'll just move this one across the equal sign. So I'll add it to both sides so that this one will go, or move it across the equal sign. That's what we always say. It's rather you add 3 out of 5 to both sides so that this one will go, right? You see, this is what we have get. So this is our s value, right? This is our s value. So it's 3 out of 5 plus or minus root 19 out of 5 because root of 19 give us decimal. So that's why. Then root of 25 is 5. So this is our s value. So this s value can be 3 out of 5 plus root 19 out of 5. And that's our s1. Now s2 will be 3 out of 5 minus root 19 out of 5 because it's a quadratic. You have to get 2 answers with quadratic. Our root is supposed to be 2. So that's why I pass on manuals here, right? Good. So this is our final answer. Subscribe to Senior Police, my YouTube channel, for more videos. Bye bye.